welcome back to our cabin escape. So it's the middle of winter. We can't make it to the cabin property, and we can't sit still. So we finished our last project that we kind of thought would take us a lot of the winter, which was doing our stairs. And so now we need a new project. So
we decided to look at some beds. So found some bed designs that we liked online. She kind of created them in the size that we wanted for like the rails, the height of the headboard, and the footboard. So we've got the dimensions of that. So we decided to make a trip to Home Depot. And
we're not affiliated with Home Depot in any way, by the way.
I wish, but we're not. So yeah, we went and grabbed a bunch of lumber, 2x4s, 2x6s, a couple 4x4s, and we've got a pile of wood now. So we're going to start kind of planing them down, kind of cleaning them up, cutting the right heights, lengths, whatever.
And build us a bed for the cabin. So hopefully this goes well.
So yeah, we've never built a bed, kind of like everything else that we're doing. So we'll see how it turns out. If it turns out great, we'll show you. If not,
you won't see any of this.
So yeah.
So yeah, here we go.
So our goal is to take that pile of wood and turn it into a bed that looks wonderful. So here we go. Wish us luck.
Okay, so today we're going to just take and kind of clean everything up a little bit. We're going to start on the headboard. We'll just cut everything down to a rough size, clean it up, sand it, plane it if it's required. We're going for a really rough, rustic look, so we don't want them all clean and pretty and beautiful. So they'll still be very, very rough when we're done with this. So yeah, we're just going to clean them up a little bit today. So here we go. Okay, so we went and got some screws, so we're in good shape there. So we're getting ready to mark out for the top and bottom rails of the headboard so that we can start assembling the headboard. So that's our goal tonight, is to look at assembling basically the headboard as much as we can.
Putting some glue down, lining that up with the bottom, and then we'll take the brad nail and just throw a couple quick nails in it, kind of hold it in place.
So there we go, just enough to hold it in place until we put the back on, and then we'll screw it all together.
Kind of the design of the headboard. We'll have a 4x4 post on each end, and then we'll have a cap on the top. Still rough. We still got some cleanup to do on it. But there you go.
for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night and we'll do some more. So we basically got the center portion of the headboard all done. We need to add the 4x4s on each corner, which will be the corner posts, and then a piece across the bottom that will hold the mattress in place. So, and then the headboard is done.
Yep.
Right?
Other than distressing it and
yes.
getting it stained, of course.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, here's kind of what we got done so far. Got the cap put on the top. Brad nailed in, glued in, so that's why the clamps are there. So yeah, we'll just stop for the night and let the glue dry. And yeah, pick up tomorrow night with the 4x4 posts.
So there you go, that's the center portion of the headboard. Okay, so we snuck out earlier today and took the clamps off and kind of cleaned up a little bit of the glue and stuff. It's really boring. Plus it was 5 minutes of our day and we didn't get any video. So this evening we have laid it out on the floor with the 4x4 posts, and now we'll just get ready to screw everything together and get this assembled for the headboard. Dave has just dropped a couple of screws down into the side and into the front of the frame. Recessed them back in and we'll fill those in and cover those up. So that's it. The headboard is done. We still have a piece to go across the bottom for the rails.
It'll come up about 8.5 inches, so somewhere right around in here.
Yeah, so 8.5 inches up off the floor will be the base. So we'll put that in as we finish the footboard and stuff and make sure that the footboard is everything that where we want it. So that's it. That one's pretty much done. We'll clean it up, get it sanded.
Start distressing it.
Dave wants to distress it, so we've actually played with that. I kind of like the idea. I wasn't too keen on it to begin with, but kind of excited to do it. So I'll let Dave, we'll clean it up, get the joints sanded, and then Dave will distress it, and then we can get it stained.
So here's Jeff with the trim router, rounding all of the edges. That should give us all the sides now router. None of the edges are sharp, hopefully. There is a little lip on from the router right here, but we'll go through and get a quick sand on that, kind of clean that up a little bit.
All right, so here we have Dave with his trusty reciprocating saw.
Gotta love power tools.
And he is getting ready to distress the wood of the headboard. So we've actually tested this out on a scrap piece of wood. We actually like the way it looks. So
Now to put it to work on an actual product, hopefully it still takes the same shape and look that we want. So.
I have all the faith in the world that Dave will do a fabulous job.
Yeah, me too, maybe. So that's kind of the rough idea, and then we'll take and sand it down and make it so there's not the jagged edges from roughing it up. So that's kind of the basic plan with it. Kind of go through and get it all done, get it sanded. So yeah, and then we'll get it all stained up. So yeah.
So we have got the bed all marred, roughed up, whatever you want to call it. So Dave's done a fabulous job at it. And some of it you can't see real well. Hoping it shows up nicely when we put the stain on. So we've got the stain here and everything else. So we are all ready. We've blown it off, cleaned it up. It's ready to go. So we're ready to stain it. So there, now you can see that all of those little grooves and dents and everything else are just showing up really, really nicely. So, which is exactly what we wanted. Okay, there we go. That is the first coat on the front side of it. We'll let it dry for a little while. We'll flip it over. Probably tomorrow sometime. And do a coat on the back and then we'll let that sit for a few days and dry in. So you can see we're just dressing a little bit better now. Okay, so we're back at it again. We took a break over Christmas. Now we're back out in the garage. We're ready to start building again. So Headboard is 95% complete. We have one more piece to place across the bottom. Bed will sit where all of the rails and everything will be. So today we're ready to start.
On the footboard. So yeah, we're going to start getting our measurements that we want for it and start getting it, everything cut, ready to assemble.
So here we go. So we got all of the rails and all of the slats and the posts cut for the footboard. This one's easy. It'll just have the top, bottom rails and the slats. It won't have anything else. So we're going to get ready to put it all together, get the footboard all assembled, and go from there. So you get a couple of screws into each slat, holds them nicely in place.
They're nice 3-inch screws. So by the time you put them in, they go through and they tie everything together, but it doesn't go all the way through.
So we got the sanding all done, and now Dave is breaking out the saw, and he's all ready to scuff it up and make it rough. Okay, so Dave has got it all roughed up, and this is the part that causes me anxiety, okay? So, it is pretty rough, pretty hard up, all the way across this. I don't even think it translates well into the video, but, so it's pretty gouged in a lot of ways. So now Dave will take and he'll put a final sand on it, and my anxiety level will go down. Okay, so he's got it with a rough sanding on it, so all of the real rough stuff is gone. You just have the gouges and the marks left in the way. Again, it doesn't really translate real well to how rough this really is. So that is all done. We've got a little bit of wood filler that we have to wait for it to dry. Then we'll do a final sanding on those areas, and we can get the stain all put on it. So.
And this is why you know, paint with your wife or stay with your wife. If she decides to, you know, get a lot on you as well.
Okay, the outside or visible side of the footboard is all done and stained. We'll let that dry. We'll come back later and do the back.
Okay, so now that the headboard and footboard are done, we're ready to start on the rails. I didn't grab the camera in time, but we've already ripped down a 2x4 for the base, the slats that run across between the bed will sit, and then we've cut both of the rails and those two slat supports down to size. So we're just ready to kind of start screwing those together and getting that assembled, and then we can put it onto the headboard and footboard. We are going to take the rails and the piece that bounce across the headboard and get those roughed up and stained and ready to go. Okay, so the rails have sat overnight. They're all dry. They're good to go. So we've got the bed. We started setting everything up here behind me, and we're going to start assembling this.
Okay, so that's it, basic shape. Basic frame is all done. We've checked it for square and everything is nice and square. So we'll go ahead and start looking at the slats. Okay, so that is it. We've got part of the slats laid in here. We have a few more that we'll put on the other end. And then a rail across the middle that we'll put in place once we get to the cabin and get it all assembled to help support the middle. And that's it. So there you go. That's what the bed will look like. We'll get the inside of the rails stained, and then we'll put a clear coat on it. That does a coat on the entire bed. So there you go. There's the bed.